Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you today is a lesson that took multiple experiences to build upon to finally understand. Now, I've essentially said in the last couple of videos, it's about happy wife, happy life, and if you've listened to those two videos, they're not titled that, but I realize I should have titled them that. Is that a woman is most happy when she's making you happy, but the male brain reverses everything, and what you hear is, oh, so I got to make her happy and then I'll be happy? Oh, that's bullshit. No, it's about getting out of her way and letting her make you happy. Because if you don't let her work hard to make you happy, she's going to be miserable, and that's going to make you miserable. So this is one piece, a lesson that I learned from my dad when I was in probably my early to mid 20s. Now, my mom and dad got divorced when I was about 4 years old. Is all my mom was a narcissist, pretty messed up deal. But many years later, I found my dad when I was 19 and got to know him again, and he was remarried. And I went over there, we lived probably an hour and a half away, and I went over there one day. I hadn't seen him for probably 3 months or so. And there was something very interesting going on while we were sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table talking. My stepmom was cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. She went from one room to another, to the bathroom, to the other bathroom, to her daughter's room, to the spare room, and she was just vacuuming, and I felt really bad. She was, oh, hey, Michael, how's it going? Now, I didn't even live there. And I felt, oh, Dad, I gotta help her out. And he goes, no. He goes, no. He goes, don't. He goes, you'll ruin it. I'm like, ruin what? He goes, her happiness. Now, my dad is a really smart guy, but he's also kind of a smart aleck. And I'm like, what? So I just kind of bit my tongue and sat back down. And so my dad and I started talking. And eventually she came into the kitchen area and she walked through. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, good. She walked back through. And I wanted to help her. My dad goes, Michael, don't do it. He goes, you're gonna ruin her happiness. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? How would I ruin her happiness by helping her clean? Okay, you know how I keep telling you guys that men and women are wired in the opposite direction for everything? Believe it or not, but it makes women very happy to clean for you. Now, under normal circumstances, not if you've ruined the marriage, and I'm not going to go down that path. So she came in the kitchen and she goes to my dad, hey, Gary, can you do the dishes? No, she goes, can you take out the garbage? He goes, yes, dear. And she walked back through, and then went back into cleaning in the back rooms. And I looked at my dad, I'm like, well, you going to take out the garbage? He goes, no. I'm like, what? He goes, don't worry about it. So she comes back and grabs some cleaning supplies underneath the kitchen sink, and she goes, Gary, are you going to take out the garbage or not? He goes, yes, dear. So she got really happy again, and she went back to cleaning. Now here's the thing. She came in again, and she goes, Gary, are you going to take out the garbage? And he goes, yes, dear. Oh, Mary, I'll do it. He goes, Michael, sit down. I'm like, shit, okay. So she was smiling again. He goes, yes, dear. And she goes back into the back room and starts cleaning, or the bathroom or whatever. And I'm like, Dad, I'll just do it. I don't want her to get upset. He goes, no, Michael, you don't understand. Haven't you noticed how happy she is? I'm like, well, yeah. And I said, but I feel bad not helping out. He goes, Michael. He goes, you're going to ruin my marriage. I'm like, what are you talking? He goes, Michael, I'm not kidding. He goes, don't fucking touch the garbage. He goes, I'm not kidding. Otherwise, I'm going to kick you out and you are not allowed back. I'm like, seriously? He goes, I'm dead serious. He goes, don't ruin my marriage. Now, I felt bad, and I kind of thought my dad was being kind of devious, and so she came into the living room, which was right across from the kitchen, and she was cleaning there, and she's, oh, Michael, blah, 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 blah. And she comes in, and she's talking to me. While she's talking to me, she grabs the garbage, and she takes it out happily and puts it in the garbage can. She comes back in, and she starts doing the dishes, and she's like, so what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then she stops and dries her hands off. She goes, Gary, can you do the dishes? He goes, yes, dear. And so she goes to the living room, she starts cleaning and vacuuming and stuff, and I'm looking at my dad like, are you going to do the dishes? He's like, no. And he goes, Michael, look at her. Look how happy she is. And she was happy as hell. So eventually my dumbass started to get up and went to do the dishes. He goes, Michael, don't. He goes, you're going to take her happiness away from her. I go, what are you talking about? Here's the deal. Again, you know how men and women are opposite? Men hate cleaning. We fucking hate it. I know I do. But women love to clean for their man or for their family. I mean, it lights them up. Now here's the deal though. I didn't really get it at the time. And yet he goes, Michael, look at her. Look how happy she is. So eventually she finished the living room. She comes into the kitchen. She starts doing the dishes. And my dad he's giggling. He goes, see how happy she is? And she was. He's like, so Michael, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And she's really happy, really excited. And she's just in a great mood. And in my mind, I'm like, why would someone be happy cleaning for 2 or 3 hours? Now, I gave it away in either the video before this or the video before that. And during the caveman era, now you think about it's not the caveman era, it doesn't matter. It's hardwired into her lower reptilian brain and her mating system. Back then, even up until really recently, like 1900, even further than that, like 1950, women had to fight and compete to keep their man. And if they did so successfully, it made them feel a huge relief. And that huge relief was a huge happiness. So their nervous system suddenly feels calm and they feel like everything's going to be okay because I cooked and cleaned for my man. Now, I'm not saying this is a conscious ego thing. This is very, very unconscious. Now, you've heard of the dog whisperer? In his book, he talks about how when he came to America from a third world country, I believe it was Mexico, he goes, he couldn't understand why all these dogs that were sick, they had, the perfect food, they had warm place to lay, clean place to lay down. He goes, but all of them had nervous anxiety, they had skin rashes, they had, they'd throw up. He goes, a lot of American dogs were just sickly and weak and ill. He goes, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. He goes, whereas our dogs in the third world country, they were strong, they were healthy, they were calm, they were relaxed, they were confident. And he said, he goes, it took me a long time to figure it out, and then I realized what it was. In our country, dogs need to work. Almost every dog is working with the horses or working with one thing or another. He goes, they all have jobs. He goes, in America, they just sit there. They don't have anything to do. Sure, they go to the park and they have fun. They physically do stuff, but they don't have a job. So when a dog is sitting there in front of a fireplace on a nice warm little blanket or whatever you put in front of the fireplace, it's not relaxed. It's not feeling like, oh, this is a nice warm fire. I get to stay inside on a cold winter's day. It's thinking, when are they going to kick me out? Because it hasn't paid the rent. So what he realized, he goes, what you have to do is you have to give them a job, even if it's a fake job. He said, every dog in the world has a job. He goes, you have guard dogs, you have sheepdog, you've got dogs for cattle, you've got dogs for horses, you've got dogs for all kinds of things. You got war dogs. He goes, you've got police dogs. All these dogs are trained and they have some kind of actual job. Even the little dogs, they kill the bugs and they chase out or eat the rodents. And then you got those little tiny dogs that bark like little babies. They sound like little babies. And you hold them like a baby. It's for women who can't have babies anymore, who are over the age of, 50 some years old. And what it does, it makes them feel like they have a baby. Every single dog has some kind of job. Therefore, when it's working, it feels like, yeah, they're not going to kick me out. I paid my rent. They can't. It's against the law. So they sleep well. When they eat their food digests comfortably. They don't get rashes because they're not a nervous wreck. But the Western mothers, meaning well, raised you to do everything like a woman. See, what happened is, around the 1900s, more and more boys stayed home longer and longer, and their mothers raised them, whereas before, by the time a boy was 4 to 5 years old, they would go out to the field, to the farm with their fathers, or to do whatever the father does for food and for money. So it's just like my dad. Here I am, 20-some years old, and he's like, hey, Michael, watch this. And this is what he said. He goes, the most powerful words in a relationship, you know what they are? I was like, no. He said, yes, dear. He goes, you want a happy relationship? Yes, dear. And the thing was, I kept going, but Dad, but you didn't do anything. He goes, it doesn't matter. And he goes, next time she asks me if I'm going to do something, listen to what I say and then watch her face really closely. So I'm like, okay. So she comes in and he goes, are you going to take out the dishes or do whatever? He goes, yes, dear. And she goes, oh, okay. And she got really happy. And I thought, wow, that's a trip. The other thing he noticed was that when you do the work for women, it makes them feel like they're not earning their keep. It makes, and now I don't mean consciously, but it's an unconscious thing. They feel like, holy shit, he's going to find another woman or he's going to leave. Or like the dog that's just sitting there that hasn't done any work. He's sitting in front of the fireplace, his nice and cozy bed, little thing you bought him. You know, you're thinking he's comfortable or he's thinking, shit, when are they going to kick me out? That humans go through the same thing, even men. See, the challenge is both men and women, we are functioning on such a high level left and right brain function that we kind of try to downplay that the lower brain is it's the brain we used during the caveman era and all the way up until recent times. The larger human brain was the last brain to be developed. It's much more recent. But the lower reptilian brain, it's the fight or flight brain, the kill or be killed brain, and it rules over having babies and mating. So that brain can override the left and right hemispheres. That's the thing that you don't understand. That lower brain, its number one job is to keep you alive, and it will override anything you're doing and take over in a split second if you're in danger. It also overrides when it comes to mating and relationships and bonding. So what a lot of humans don't understand, relationships are not logical. They are lower instinctual patterns. If you don't learn these patterns, you're going to have a horrible life together. Now, in my book, Cracked Female Code, I begin to introduce you to a lot of these unconscious patterns that are hardwired into us. In the course Cracked Female Code, I teach you how to do it. Now, I was pretty stunned when I watched her finish everything. She came and joined us, and she goes, hey, do you want me to make you a sandwich? And I'm sitting there looking at my dad with my mouth just dropped, thinking, she didn't even yell at him. She was genuinely freaking happy. Now, here's the thing. I actually didn't really learn the lesson because I had a girlfriend at the time. She was Asian, Laotian, as I shared in the last video, so I'm going to make it real short. And she wanted to clean for me one day. She just showed up with a mop and a bucket and cleaning supplies, and I wouldn't let her. And it made her really, really upset, and she got really sad and depressed, like that dog sitting in front of the fireplace saying, hey, I didn't earn my keep. Then she tried to do another time, and I let her do it, I think, one time, but I felt so guilty because my mother's like, no, you do that for yourself. You never let a woman do that for you. Once again, the Western woman raising the young boys in the wrong way. We were not meant to be raised this way. So then she tried to cook for me, and I felt so bad. I think the first time she came over the food, was like, I wouldn't let her. I was like, no, I can't let you do that. My mom would kill me. And I even told her I wasn't raised that way. And she's looking at me like, what are you talking about? I want to do this. When she showed up, she had the biggest smile on her face every time with the bucket and with the food. She wanted to do this. There was a time when she literally said, look, I want to introduce my Asian food to you. I want to introduce Laotian food. I want to cook for you. I want to show you our dishes. And I was like, well, okay. And she was so happy, but I saw her smile. I saw how jubilant and joyful she was. But I didn't make the connection because in my mind, cooking is work. Cleaning is work. It's not fun. I never let her clean again. I never let her cook again. I felt so ashamed of myself because that's the way I was raised. You know what? I killed my relationship, and I'm dead serious. It makes her feel like she's not a part of the family, like she's not a part of your tribe. Everyone in the tribe has to do some kind of work to add to the tribe. And this is an instinctual thing in all human beings, not just women. And you know what? That's when our relationship went to hell. Everything just slowly started corroding. She was always sad. She was depressed. Just like that dog sitting in front of the fireplace. It was really depressed. And I can't remember his name, the dog whisperer, but he said, I couldn't figure out why are these dogs so depressed and nervous and stressed out. So here's what you can do. If a girl's coming over, a young lady or your wife or whatever, say, hey, can you stop by the store? Or since you're going to the store, can you pick me up a, blah, blah, blah. It makes her feel like she's doing something for you, and that makes her feel good. You can say, hey, can you clean this for me? I'd really appreciate that. It's like you're giving her things to do to earn her right to be a part of this tribe. So now it's not like, well, she's here, but one day she's going to kick it out. It's like, no, I worked hard. I'm a part of this tribe. I've earned it. And that gives women a sense of being calm and relaxed. It makes her feel like she's part of the team, like she's part of the tribe. Otherwise, she feels like she's an outsider wishing that you would let her in. The hardest thing that I think is hard for men to understand, and it was for me, it still kind of is, even though I've been teaching it for years. It is so hardwired. The man goes hunting, he walks for 2 or 3 hours, and he hunts or waits on a tree for a deer to walk underneath for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, and he jumps down with a sharpened stick and kills it, and then he cleans it and brings it back. It takes another 2 hours to get back home. Where she was at home cleaning and sweeping and maybe picking berries, he comes home and then she prepares the food and does this and does that. Everyone has a part in the family. Everyone has a part in the tribe. That's what makes a healthy family or a healthy tribe. This also creates a sense of camaraderie, like I've got your back and you've got my back. It also increases communication and understanding. It helps increase a sense of unconscious rapport, meaning you understand each other better, you get along better. This creates a healthy relationship. It puts you on the same page. It's kind of like a baseball team or football team that's played together. All the kids have been on the same team year after year after year. You get to read each other. When teams have players who've played together for many, many years, you can read each other better, and you can do things in the middle of a play that other teams can't, because they can't read each other as well, because they're not familiar with each other. When you do things like this and work together, it begins to build this team, call it mobility, team ability. Now you're starting to get an idea of what Cracked Female Code is really about. Happiness, love, understanding, compassion, romance, everything. If you want to take it to the next step, go to crackedfemalecode.com right now and buy my book, Cracked Female Code, if you want to learn more. Come learn how to live a powerful life. I'm a certified NLP trainer, certified master practitioner of Ericksonian hypnosis, certified master practitioner of timeline therapy, HNLP, NAC, Reiki, Huna, Pranic healing, and other psychology. So I studied psychology in college. I've read over 350 books on human behavior, psychology, human sexuality, etc., etc. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I did 4 presentations at Hewlett-Packard and other agencies such as real estate agents, computer companies, etc., etc. over the years. If you want to learn more, get a hold of me. Go to crackedfemalecode.com. See you guys next video or in person.